That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah! What the fuck are you talking about?
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday night. Welcome to the Sports Hounds exclusively on A2DRadio.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram. Watch us live, like, subscribe, share, download, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Takeover Talk is real. A2D Radio is absolutely everywhere. All is right with the world, everyone, because March is here. I have a bracket in my hand. We're not getting cheated out of it like last year because of stupid COVID. We got a bracket. It's going to start Friday. Playing games are Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we got bracket talk all night. We got Flyers, Rangers, live reactions here. Flyers just went up 1-0 on your Rangers, Brad. Flyers really need a win. Things are moving and shaking in the NFL.
The Flyers are going nowhere. They're not going to even make
I agree with you. They're a sad, putrid, pathetic hockey team right now they're gutless, and it makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, they might they'll beat the three shitty teams behind them. That's about it.
And then we got NFL free agency moving and shaking. Patriots are spending a bunch of money. Chiefs making moves. Defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're making moves. So we'll get into that as well. And we also have some Joel Embiid talk. Sixers dodged the bullet, huge bullet. MVP of the league, looked really ugly, ends up just being a hyperextension, 2 to 4 week injury. So we'll look at that outlook with the NBA trade deadline looming. Sixers going to be without Joel Embiid, probably closer to a month because you got to think, Brad, they're just going to milk him. They're going to milk him back.
And big game in New York tonight in Brooklyn, the Knicks and the Nets.
I hope the Knicks smoke them.
Well, they're going to be on the tube tonight, so that's something I can watch. The Ranger Flyer game, unfortunately, is blacked out down here, so because it's on national TV, but the assholes and their asshole network blacks out the game. You have to see the game locally unless you buy cable TV. So,
what do you got? The dish?
Yeah, of course I have the dish, so I can't get the game.
And then, we got Brad Ryer. We got our college bracketologist, Mr. Chase Robbins. Chase, welcome to the show. Cover your ears because sometimes we fly off. We get angry. So cover your ears. Don't repeat anything that you might hear that's inappropriate on this TV show. But Chase is 10 years old. He's a college basketball savant. He's also a college football savant. He knows a lot of He's a young Rob Brinkman who's like a calm, mild-mannered, level-headed person.
Boy.
So we're gonna Chase. You're looking sharp, man. You got the red on. What jersey are you sporting tonight?
Kevin Herter from
Kevin Herter, Atlanta Hawks jersey. Why you like Kevin Herter so much?
He played college basketball at Maryland, and I'm a Maryland.
And you're a big Maryland guy, right?
Yeah.
Your Uncle Chris and your dad, they all went to Maryland, or Uncle Chris went to Penn State, but he was a Maryland fan until he went to Penn State. And your dad, obviously, he went to Maryland. And you also got big-time insights on one of these lower seeds, too, a school right by your house. You're in the building scouting out Mount St. Mary's, aren't you?
Yeah.
There you go. So we're going to get his picks. We're going to get his thoughts. We got Brad's thoughts. Frank will be popping in and out.
You know what? I want to give my thoughts during the tourney, too. I haven't done these selection shows in forever. And yet,
Frank, we're starving. We're starving.
Yes.
Us college basketball heads, we're starving for a bracket. And I don't think March Madness is getting the credit it deserves. I think people forget how cool it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't have it last year.
I was very excited going into the bracketology. My alma mater, Western Kentucky. They were supposed to get into the tourney, but they choked against North Texas. But I'm fine with the NIT for my tops. Let's get some brackets.
Are they a 1 seed? They're probably like a 1 seed in the NIT.
They're actually a 3 seed in the NIT. And of course, they end up in the same quadrant as Ole Miss, St. Mary's, and Louisiana Tech. So we're in a not so fun quadrant in the NIT down in Frisco.
Yeah, but you get some your 3 seed, you get some home games.
Yeah.
So you get to the Garden.
And it's all in Frisco.
Okay, they're bubbling.
Yeah,
they're bubbling, yeah. Which kind of helps us and Louisiana Tech a little bit because the entire conference tourney was down in Frisco. So we are going to be those teams are going to be a little bit more familiar from where we're at.
Three of the best teams in the tournament that would have been in the tournament all said forget about it. That would be St. John's, Seton Hall, and who's the other one in the other one Xavier.
Yeah,
they all said later for the NIT this year because they think their kids have had enough. So.
I mean, Xavier's definitely had enough. I mean, brutal loss to Butler. I mean, there's no reason that they shouldn't have been in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
everyone.
St. John's said no, and Seton Hall had a pretty brutal loss themselves as well. So they're not playing. How about Georgetown?
Oh, yeah.
This is the bid stealers. Oh, let me read this one before I get. As always, the Sports Hounds exclusively here on A2DRadio.com are brought to you by Dr. Paul Vidal, specialized physical therapy, two convenient locations, Burlington and Cherry Hill. He's our doc here at A2D Radio. Make them yours too. Also brought to you by Body Check Wellness, a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. They come in extracts, blends, gummies, and topicals. Use promo code A2D for 20% off your order. Many of us in our families also deal with mental health and addiction issues. We are happy to support the Counseling Center of Sunrise Detox. If you need mental health therapy or addiction detox, please call 856-651-8117. Tell them Tom Arnone sent you. Tell them A2D Radio sent you. Now to the poll question, which is brought to you by Philly Drinkers LLC. Get all your A2D merchandise at phillydrinkersllc.com. Click on the A2D Radio collections. Affordable, fashionable, nice stuff there at phillydrinkers.com. Check it out. Our poll question tonight, we'll kick it to the newcomer making his radio debut here on A2D Radio. Gonzaga will win the national championship. Chase, do you agree or do you disagree to the poll question?
I'd say it would be tough, but I would agree. With scoring like 90 points per game or something like that. They have Jalen Suggs, I think, like small forward, point guard, or shooting guard. They have Corey Kispert at center, and that's a great duo, and they can score a lot of points with those guys.
I think their region too, Chase, really sets up well for them. I mean, let me get my bracket up here. I mean, you have Missouri and Oklahoma, like they're walking to the Sweet 16. The Creighton, Virginia, that doesn't scare me. I don't think Kansas is that great this year. Iowa is good, but can't play defense. So I think that this region sets up really good for them to reach the Final Four. I don't have them winning. I disagree to the poll. I think Illinois is playing at an extremely high level right now. I mean, they caught fire without their probably a lottery pick, Desamansu. He's back now. He's wearing that cool little mask. Kofi Cockburn, probably a great down low presence. They are just pounding teams into submission down the stretch here in the Big Ten. I have Illinois winning it. That is my championship game, though. Illinois over Gonzaga. Chase, I just can't trust number one overall seeds. I can't trust number one overall seeds because a lot of the times it doesn't come to fruition. They get upset. Remember, Kentucky was undefeated that one year. They lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin. Anything can happen in March. But I do think that this is Gonzaga's best team. And another thing that makes me nervous with Gonzaga is, they always schedule up. So they play a lot of big time games in the non-conference, but then they go months and months with playing cupcakes in the West Coast Conference, which wasn't really that good this year. So that also makes me nervous. So for those reasons, with Illinois playing as well as they're playing and me fading the number one seed, I can't, in good faith, pick Gonzaga to win the national championship. They're a great team, though. Frank, you want to jump in?
Sure, I'm going to jump in. Rob, you brought up some points about the number one overall seeds, getting upset. I mean, we saw this a couple of years ago. It's hard to believe it's like a couple of years ago and feels like forever when a number 1 overall seed by the name of Virginia fell to a team called, you probably heard of it, University of Maryland of Baltimore County. The Retrievers pull off one of the biggest upsets of all time. You know, I like Gonzaga, probably one of the best squads in a very long time for the Zags. But looking at this bracket, I mean, I think they will have a cakewalk going into the Final Four, but I don't see them winning the national title. So I will disagree to the poll.
Brad, you want to jump in?
I will agree to the poll. I think Gonzaga is the best team. I'm not worried about whether they're undefeated or not. I think they're undefeated because they are that good. And at this point, I just think they're offensively they seem to score a lot of points. I don't think anybody, unless they just don't shoot the basketball at all. And I get it. You know, Georgetown got beat by Villanova. I get it. In a championship game when it's one game, you know, somebody can shoot the eyes out of the basket and win a game. But this team is just real good. I mean, listen, we've seen it before with UNLV, who may, in my opinion, back in the late 80s and early 90s, may have had the greatest teams of all time, and seem to have a problem putting it together, you know, in the championship games. But this team is just loaded. I mean, I think they've got 3 guys that are going to be in the NBA next year. I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Period.
Bryce Blackwell's in the house. Ralphie Delavecchio's in the house. What's good, fellas? Tommy Arnone's in the house. Tommy Arnone throwing a curveball already. He likes Bama. Chase, what do you think about Bama?
I have Bama losing to Texas in the Sweet 16.
Ooh.
Texas with a much better conference with West Virginia, Baylor, Oklahoma State, who have in my championship, losing to Gonzaga. And then who else they have?
You got Texas Tech in there. You got
Oklahoma, who was
Oklahoma. I think you hit them all.
At least all the teams that were competing in the Big 12 this year. I know my
it's really
compete at all.
I'll tell you what, I got a long shot team for you that I think is gonna make some noise. Cuse.
I like Syracuse. I do like Syracuse.
I think
every year
real well, and I think you're gonna. I mean, an 11 seed there, not an 11 seed. That's a gross miscalculation of how good that team is. They've been playing real well. They seem to be getting better and better as the season went by.
They are peaking at the right time. And I agree with you. And it seems every year, I don't have the exact stat in front of me, but I saw it last night. It seems every year at least one 11 seed makes it to the Sweet 16. And Syracuse is my 11 seed that's in the Sweet 16. I think they beat. Let me see exactly who they play. Hold on.
I can't remember who it was.
Because they're in Illinois. So yeah, they're going to play San Diego State. I think they beat San Diego State, and then I think they take out West Virginia as well. West Virginia. I don't know if they're going to be able to shoot their way out of that 2-3 Syracuse zone. So I like the way that matchup.
Syracuse is a tough team to play once. If you play them twice, at least you've been through it. It's kind of like how John Chaney's teams were at Temple. You know, when you had to play that team in the NCAA tournament, nobody ever wanted to play them because that zone was very, very confusing, and you found yourself behind big at halftime. And most of the time when they lost, it was usually to a team that was in their division. Like, well, North Carolina used to always seem to knock them out. But you know what I'm talking about, right, Frank? With that, I mean, it just seemed like that always used to happen to them.
Oh yeah.
Chase, do you have a thought on Syracuse? Do you have a double-digit seed that you're eyeing up that you have making a run?
No. I have them losing to San Diego State. I don't really think they can beat San Diego State. The ACC hasn't been good this year, so they haven't played any real good teams.
That's true, because North Carolina and Duke were not good at all,
to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't even remember the last time that Duke wasn't in the championship. Not that it breaks my heart any that Coach K and Duke isn't in the tournament, but and then Kentucky's not in either, which is
they all had crappy years.
Yeah, it's the first time since 1976 where a tournament did not feature Duke and Kentucky.
And Michigan State, they're a powerhouse too. They made it by the skin of their teeth. They're in a playing game against UCLA.
And even Ralph is upset that the Michigan State Spartans, brought to you by Rocket Mortgage, that's their new name now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they changed it because money.
How is that allowed? So Michigan State's allowed to do that, but then a player gets a tattoo and they're banned for eternity?
I don't even know. It's the NCAA.
What a bunch of nonsense that is.
Could you imagine if they did that to Tim Duncan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. He had more tattoos than anybody.
Kaman's in the house. He's upset with March Madness. Why are you upset, Kaman?
I think he was
Nothing's
upset,
happened.
I guess because of all the COVID issues.
Okay. Everybody, can we take a deep breath and just stop letting the coronavirus run our lives? Be safe, but you can do the NCAA tournament in a bubble like they should be, and it's going to be fine. The fans are going to be there. They just sent I just got an alert on my phone before we went on the air. They just sent 6 referees home to be extra cautious because of contract. They didn't have coronavirus necessarily, but the contact tracing, they told those refs, go home. We're having our tournament. You can't be here. We'll get new refs. It's going to be fine. I'm sick of these negative Nancy's trying to bring me off my high horse because I have a bracket in my hand for the first time in 2 years because of stupid coronavirus. And I'm not saying it's stupid because it's not real or anything like that, because it's a real disease. People got sick. But can we stop letting coronavirus put a damper on the things that we think are great in this country, like March Madness?
That second shot is a killer. For anybody who has, I got the 2 shots because I have high blood pressure. So that's why I was able to get it early. But I'll tell you what, the first shot was a breeze, but that second shot got me so freaking sick. I was dying yesterday.
I'm glad you recovered. I can tell you're unshaven, you're unkempt. I can tell you've been a little under the weather.
I usually shave, but it's.
Can't you be like Chase? Chase is looking sharp. He's got his Kevin Herter jersey on. He's ready to go.
I hear you, Rob.
Decorum, respect for the show, Brad. Come on, just to go back to Kaman's comment. Relax. It's going to be fine. We're going to have a good tournament. Relax. Come on. He likes Ohio State. Prayers up. Tommy, we just talked about Alabama. Chase, I think that's good insight on Alabama. I think that I also have Alabama losing to Texas in the Sweet 16. I actually have Texas in my Final Four. Give me the professional front court, Chase, because they got 2 big guys that are going to be playing in the NBA next year. I think that's going to be pretty tough to beat, especially in that region. Anthony Polisano, he agrees. He likes Gonzaga. Bryce Blackwell, Illinois is good. I totally agree with you, Bryce. Illinois is my team.
Illinois I'll tell you what, Illinois in close games, it's phenomenal. They just seem to. They're like ice. They know how to win those close games, and that if they end up playing Gonzaga, I would be very concerned about them if it's a real close game because they always seem to end up on top. Especially look at the tournament. I mean, yesterday they were up against it big time against Ohio State, and they managed to wiggle their way off the hook and win the game.
Greg Malakovic, he agrees with the poll based on the truth bomb that Chase just dropped on us. It's great insight by Chase. He's totally right. The Big 12 was I don't know, Chase. What do you think? Do you think the Big 12 was better than the Big 10?
No, I think the Big 10 was a little bit better because of Michigan, Illinois, and the Big 12 just has Baylor as the only team in the top 5. I don't think I don't think West Virginia has gotten the top 5. And Maryland having a bunch of ranked teams: Michigan, Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Ohio State. Wisconsin was top 5. Michigan State was top 5. and I think Rutgers used to be ranked, and Minnesota, but they all had a bad ending. But the rest of the conference has been good.
Tell you, the Big Ten was a super division this year.
But like, yeah, Victoria Taylor. Yeah, we got Chase Robbins. He's brought him up. He's been in our minor league system for a couple years now, and it's time to step up to the show. It's March Madness. All hands on deck. Bracket time, baby. Brink said, "Make America Great Again." Yeah, I did say "Make America Great Again." Yep. John Burke, he likes everyone over a 6 seed. This is my dopey cousin. All he does is pick upsets. So Chase or Frank, let's go to you. You haven't talked in a while. Do you have like a sleeper team, if you will? Because I got a couple.
Sleeper team. I don't know. Looking at this bracket, I'm not real sure with a true sleeper. But one team I'm going to keep a close eye on is Georgetown, the 12 seed in the East region. They're riding on that hot hand, going through the Big East tourney, pulling off a series of huge upsets. I think they still catch lightning in a bottle in the tourney, and I kind of have this team in the Sweet 16 against Michigan.
Okay. That unfortunately is where it will all end.
Unfortunately, that's where I have them ending. I have them falling to Michigan.
I mean, for those people out there who aren't like entrenched in this stuff and just want to do a bracket and because it's fun, you got to monitor the Isaiah Livers situation there in Michigan because they're not the same team without Isaiah Livers. He sprained his foot. He was unable to play in the semifinals against Ohio State, which resulted in a loss. Isaiah Livers, really good player. He's their best perimeter scorer. He's kind of like a small forward shooting guard. Really good player. It's unknown if he's going to be able to play at all in March. So we just monitor that situation.
Yeah, and the only other team that I'm looking at in the bracket is Drake. I know they got the playing game against Wichita State, but I know injuries have plagued him. Maybe that'll be a little bit of motivation going into this tournament. You know, they're up against USC. If they win, they're up against probably one of the best draft prospects in the NBA in Evan Mobley against the Trojans. I kind of have an 11-6 upset in one bracket. So Drake is another team to take a look at in the bracket.
Yeah, I think whoever wins that game, Frank, is going to beat USC.
Yeah, I don't understand Evan Mobley being this like can't miss number 1 overall pick draft. Yeah. I mean, I've watched USC play a couple times. A little harder to watch USC because they're on the West Coast there, but I don't get it at all with Evan Mobley. Yeah, I mean, I'm not too high on highly sought after USC players. This goes back to football and basketball. I mean, when was the last time a kid from USC made a huge deal? And that was probably like OJ Mayo, and look where OJ Mayo's at now. He's like, I don't even know if he's still in the slammer. Like he got in so much trouble that he's no longer in the league.
I think they get lulled to sleep out there by the cold. Like you're at the beach, you're in California. There's girls, there's parties, like there's stuff. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Football and basketball. I mean, Reggie Bush was okay. From a football standpoint, obviously O.J. Simpson's one of the greatest running backs ever. That was a hot minute ago. Daniel Bagley, Houston is my sleeper to make the Final Four. I don't really know if you can call a 2 seed Houston a sleeper. They are a 2 seed.
Yeah,
they're in the top 10.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, over the past, I guess a couple weeks ago, they were playing my team, and you know. I thought we might pull off an upset, but man, Houston's sneaky good.
Chase, do you have thoughts on Houston? Do you think they're a good team? Think they can make a Final Four?
I have them losing in the Sweet 16. I have them winning the first round, beating Rutgers, and losing to San Diego State. So I think they're really good, and they can have some competition. I think they'll win those games, but then I have them losing the next round to Oklahoma State.
Okay, so you have Oklahoma State in your Final Four, is what I just
have them in my championship.
You have them in your championship game.
Woo.
So why do you like Oklahoma State?
Wow.
I just think Cade Cunningham's really good, and again, the conference is really good, and he's a freshman. And normally young teams do well, so I think he's going to do well, and they're going to go all the way to the championship, but I don't think they can score as much points as Gonzaga can.
I mean, Cade Cunningham's really good. John Burks says Oklahoma State's overrated. What do you say to that, Chase?
I think they're underrated.
You can crush them. You can yell and scream at them. It's all right. That's what we do here. We agree to disagree. Yell and scream at people.
Crush them. Call them a crumb.
No, then you get Tommy. Tommy will make 18,000 videos about how you're a crumb if you call someone else a crumb. We'll save Chase from that until he's 11. It's only 10.
All right.
Break him in slow.
Yes.
Rosca's in the house. Hold on. Where
He's talking about Arizona and Arizona State.
what about Gonzaga? John Burke, do you need a hearing aid or something? Cuz I mean, we've been talking about Gonzaga the whole time. The poll question was, is Gonzaga going to win the national championship? Agree or disagree? Me and Frank disagreed. Brad and Chase, they're all Gonzaga'd up. They think Gonzaga's going to win it. What do you think about Gonzaga? You think they're going to win it? Probably not, because you'll probably have some dopey 12 seed winning because you're just reckless with your bracket, picking all the double digit C's. But to each their own. That's why it's agree to disagree radio. Daniel Bakley Vucevic is from USC.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, but he is an outstanding basketball player. So that's a good pull from Daniel there. Bryce Blackwell, Mobley is different. Explain Evan Mobley to me. Explain to me what I'm missing for those of you who like Evan Mobley. Chase, do you have any insight on Evan Mobley and why he's like supposed to be so good in the NBA and supposed to be such a good basketball player? I don't see it.
I don't really know too much about him because I don't watch Pac-12. They're late and they're not the best conference. But I just say he can score a lot of points and can rebound a lot.
Well, if Chase doesn't know about him, then he can't be that good. Because Chase knows everyone that's good. So, James Harden played at USC and they didn't do anything. Sean Spellman.
He did go to Arizona State. James Harden.
Yes, he did not go to USC. To OK State, we went over that. Grimes is no sell. Yeah, Quentin Grimes. He's really good. He's the perimeter player on Houston. He's really good. I have Houston in my Elite Eight. I just think it's a little reckless, Daniel, to call them a sleeper team. I mean, that's a cop-out sleeper pick, in my opinion. Sleeper pick is like an Oklahoma State, like Chase said, making a championship game. Bob Brickman, Texas versus Illinois in the championship game. Chase, you like Texas, don't you? I think I've gathered that from.
I have them in my Final Four. And I have Illinois getting upset in the second round by Loyola Chicago.
Loyola Chicago taking out Illinois.
Sister Jean Magic.
Sister Jean Magic. They're a good basketball team. They are not an 8 seed. They are not an 8 seed at all. I've watched them play. They can score. They're athletic. Yeah. I don't hate that pick. The only thing I hate about that pick is I love Illinois and they're my champion. So I don't like that pick. But the first 1 seed that I have out, Chase, is Michigan because of Isaiah Livers' injury. I have LSU taking out Michigan.
Wow.
I think LSU. I think the SEC wasn't a good conference. We talked about the Big Ten. Big 10, Big 12 is the 2 best. SEC was down this year, but I think the 3 teams at the top, LSU, Arkansas, and Alabama, I think that they're set up well for runs. And I have LSU. Not only I have them winning a bunch of games here. I have them in my Elite Eight. I have them 1 step away from the Final Four. I think they're gonna fall to Texas in the Elite Eight, but I think Michigan's the first 1 seed to lose. Chase has Illinois losing to Loyola Chicago.
I don't have them in my Final Four either.
Who's that?
The Michigan Wolverine. I don't have them in my Final Four.
Do you who's like Brad? Who's like the one seeds are Gonzaga, obviously, Baylor, who I really like. I think they're going to go to the Final Four. Michigan and Illinois. Which one of them do you think loses first?
Michigan.
I mean, I don't see how you can.
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see Illinois, Ohio State, Gonzaga, and who am I missing? Baylor.
The Baylor region, I think.
Baylor. I think you're going to see those four in there.
Are you talking about the LaMelo Ball of the bracket? I don't even know what that means, John Burke. Daniel Beckley, he thinks Michigan is going to lose first.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose. They have times when they just can't score. That's the problem. They're a real good team, but they have a lot of scoring, and I think it's going to come back to bite. They're going to have one game. Probably not the first game, I don't think, but they'll probably get to the Sweet 16 and then lose then.
I think Ohio State's in trouble in the Sweet 16. Hold on, where's their? Let me find their region here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
there it is in the South region. I think they're in trouble, Frank, against Arkansas. I think that's a terrible matchup for Ohio State because Ohio State, they can't defend the perimeter as they proved yesterday against Illinois. And Chase, I know you like Arkansas a little bit, or at least you used to. That's one thing they can do. They can shoot and score from the perimeter. So I think that's a terrible matchup for Ohio State. So that's why I think that they run into Arkansas in the Sweet 16, and I think they're out.
Yeah, I think the only team I got, at least in the top 2 seeds, not making a significant run, I got Iowa dropping out of the Sweet 16.
No, I don't like them either.
Yeah, I mean, I love Luka Garza, but I think it just ends at the Sweet 16 against, and I have them falling against Kansas.
I like Oregon. I like Oregon a lot. I know we talked about the Pac-12 and how it's a stinky conference, but I love Dana Altman. I love their athleticism. Dana Altman knows how to win in March. I just think they know how to win in March, and I have them obviously beating VCU. I think they match up really good against Iowa, and then I have them playing Kansas. Why not have them beat Kansas? I don't think this is a vintage Kansas team.
No, it's not. It's not a typical Kansas team. Knowing how the Big 12 play this year, as Chase mentioned. Yeah, I'm not too sold on the Jayhawks, but Kansas, I think they're going to figure out some ways to win some games in the tourney.
Chase, do you have a thought on Iowa, Oregon, Kansas, that bottom half of the West region there?
I have Iowa going to the Sweet 16 and losing to Kansas. And then Kansas makes it to the Elite Eight and then loses to Gonzaga. And then Gonzaga goes on to win the championship. And then I have Oregon losing to Iowa. I think Iowa's pretty good with Luka Garza, Connor McCaffrey, and I forget the other guy's name, but I think
they can really score. They're 7-8 deep. They're well coached, but I mean, you're gonna have to defend. You gotta defend at some point, and I don't trust Iowa to defend. All right, and then we got from the Big 5, Big 6, where Drexel's not technically a Big 5 team, but they should get that.
Big 5 to me.
the City 6, if you will.
Yeah.
We got 2 representatives here.
Yeah.
Chase, Villanova's in trouble, right?
I have them losing first round.
As do I to Winthrop.
Wow. All right.
I mean, Gillespie is just a huge loss. It's just a huge loss. I mean, their starting point guard, the catalyst of the whole basketball team. Not to mention, CJ.
Not going to play.
Oh, he's tore his MCL, Brad. He's out.
Yeah. Oh, it's a shame.
They might get CJ Moore back, but I mean, he's a starting caliber player too, and he's not
No, it's
just
hard
not.
to win those games when you don't have your best player, especially your point guard. I mean, that's almost impossible in that tournament.
Chase, do you have any insight on Winthrop?
Yeah, I just have them in the Sweet 16, then losing to Baylor, which is kind of obvious. But I think they're a really good team. They're not like one of the best conference teams, but going 23-1, almost undefeated, is really good if you have a good conference or not, because their competition's those low teams, and it's hard to beat them for them. But with Villanova without Gillespie, I have them probably I'd say blowing them out.
Blowing them out.
Wow.
Nova getting routed by Winthrop, according to Chase. I
Wow.
love it. I love it. But you look at Winthrop, they're 17-1 in conference, 23-1 overall. They score almost 80 a game, letting up 65-ish. That's not tragic. And then, Chase, I know your dad's got you in handicapping school there, so we'll try and relate to you here. I look at that line. Yahoo Sportsbook has Winthrop is only a 6.5 point favorite. I mean, that tells me all I need to know about the basketball game. It's Winthrop all day. Winthrop money line plus 240.
6.5 is
Wow.
a pretty big spread. So
That's thin. That's thin.
Well,
If Connor Gillespie was in the basketball game, Brad, it'd be 11, 12-point spread.
the other way.
Looking at where
it's Villanova minus 6.5.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is really thin, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's thin.
That's
Especially for Villanova, that's pretty thin. And
Villanova's the 5 seed, correct?
They're a 5 seed, yeah.
Nova's a 5 seed. I have Nova falling in the second round to Purdue. I think they win by a slim margin against Winthrop, but falling to Purdue in the second round.
Yeah, those Big Ten teams, I think all of them can win their first round games for sure. A little worried about Rutgers, but the Atlantic 10, as Chase so aptly put it, it's not that good. There's no reason why they can't beat Clemson.
Yeah, I got Rutgers winning this one. At least from when I was looking at the opening lines, I think Rutgers was the only team that was favored to win that game of all the double-seeded teams, or the double-digit teams.
Yeah, I think they can win that game, and kudos to them. It's been a long time for Rutgers. We got to go back to the Phil Sellers, Mike, Gaffney, and Jam and James Bailey and all those guys for the last time that team had a major run in them in the NCAA. So it's good to see they finally got there.
See y'all out there in the comments. Bob Brinkman, Iowa too slow overall. They get knocked out by Oregon. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
Joey DiBardino, that's Chase Robbins. He's a college sports savant. We'll probably have him back on for some college football talk when that gets going up again. But, I mean, Chase, you got two favorite teams in college basketball, two teams that you really dive into each year. You're a fan of both of them. They're both in the tournament. Why don't you tell us about the Maryland-UConn matchup and also the Mount St. Mary's, whoever they're playing. Well, they got to play Texas Southern first, no?
Yeah.
They do.
Michigan.
They're in a playing game, and then you got Maryland. Why don't we start with Maryland, because that's the Big Ten team. We'll start with the big boys and work our way down. To me, Chase, this Maryland-UConn game is the least intriguing NCAA tournament game in the past 5 years. It's going to be like watching paint dry. What do you think? What do you think about that game?
I don't think we're that good enough to be a team outside of the conference. I mean, I think we're good for we're the fifth strength of schedule. We had the fifth strength of schedule in college basketball, and we beat Illinois, we beat Purdue, we beat Wisconsin, we beat a lot of good teams, but the past couple games haven't been good for us. We are, I think 1 out of 4. We were like 10-10, went to 15-10, then lost to Penn State and Northwestern, then beat Michigan State and we're up by 12 against Michigan, and then lost by 13.
That's brutal. That's like a 25-point swing, Chase. What happened?
They must have stopped playing.
Yeah, they ended the half on a 16-2 run to make it 40-38. They were up at halftime, and then they came out in the second half, had all the momentum, and then just took the game.
Sounds like the Knicks and Oklahoma City the other day. The Knicks were down, I think, by 9 in the middle of the second quarter. Then they got ahead by 2 at halftime, and then won by 21. Sometimes that
we did have some breaking news. Corey Davis goes to the Jets, 3-year deal. So
wow.
Joe Douglas moving and shaking, getting Sam Darnold some weapons.
Yes.
Continue to track that news as it comes in. So Chase, are you picking your boys or are you picking UConn?
I picked UConn. I wanted to pick Maryland, but that'd be like a little bias.
Oh, you're allowed to pick your favorite teams. All these guys down here do that.
I'm just glad we made the tournament because like we haven't played good the last couple games, so I don't know that we're in our best position to win.
Frank, do you have thoughts on that game?
I don't really care for that game. I mean, whoever wins this game, I have them losing to Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama is a 2 seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Alabama's the 2 seed down there.
Alabama is going to be tough to beat, no question.
I mean, I thought they were soft until I watched pretty much the entire second half of the SEC championship yesterday, and that team is not soft. LSU is not soft either. They're going to be extremely, extremely tough outs. Brad, do you have a thought? Do you have a thought on the Maryland-UConn game?
Yeah, I think Maryland's going to win. I like all the Big Ten teams. I think they've all been battle-tested and have been playing some of the top teams in the country all year. I mean, you know, you have to play Illinois twice. You have to play Ohio State twice. You know, you got to play Michigan twice. I mean, they're used to playing top quality opponents. I just think that, you know, in a matchup like this, I think that they've got a decided edge because they've been playing against this kind of pedigree pretty much on a regular basis. So, and then, you know, they had to play Rutgers and they were playing some of the other quality teams too. I mean, that's a very, very tough division that they're in, and you know, getting to that point, that's why I kind of like Maryland. I like all the Big Ten teams because I think that they're very highly ranked. They've been good all year, and as I said, you know, they're used to playing top-notch competition. So running into some of these other teams, I think they're going to be surprisingly a lot better than a lot of these other teams.
Now, Chase, UConn has a really good player. Probably going to be a lottery pick in James Bouknight.
Yeah.
Does Maryland have, like, what's the plan? What does Coach Chase do to game plan so that your boys can maybe win a tournament game?
I just put our best defender, Daryl Morsell, on him. He won the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. And I just keep him on the entire game and not change it. The only problem would be our point guard on their small forward because our best defender is a small forward, Daryl Morsell. So I think if maybe we could win if we could play good defense on him. And then that would have us with a 1 win.
Okay, so now let's move on because Mount St. Mary's, that's right by your house. I know you go to the games with your dad sometimes, pre-COVID, of course. So, like, what can you tell us about, you know, this playing game against what is it? Texas Southern. And then, obviously, it's a tall task if they do win that game to play Michigan, a great team like Michigan. But,
Yikes.
You know, no one thought Maryland-Baltimore County was going to be Virginia. So, it has happened before. So what can you tell us about Mount St. Mary's?
They've all, I don't really know much about Texas Southern because I don't really care for small conferences.
That's all right. Us either. Great answer.
I mean, out of the SWAC, nothing really to write home about.
Yeah.
Whoever their best player is, I just put. We also on their team they have this guy. He's a weird name. I think his name's like Nana Opuku or something.
Nana, yeah.
He won Defensive Player of the Year in their conference. So whatever, like center or power forward, I just put him on them. And then they're a slow team, so I try to slow them down. Because the two teams we played in the NEC tournament were fast teams, and we slowed them down and won both of them.
That's good insight. Mount St. Mary's is a half-point underdog. So I think it sounds like Chase is on that Mount St. Mary's bandwagon, and they're going to play Michigan. Bob Brickman has Texas versus Illinois in the championship game. Ryan Brodo, thanks for hopping on. Whoever Chase picks is his winner. I'm also picking, following his lead. Daniel Backley, I didn't mean in sense of sleeper, no, but no one is talking about them too much. It's all right. I mean, you're good. You aren't talking about the mellow ball of this bracket, LOL. I don't know what that means. Bob Brickman has Michigan losing to the Hoyas in Sweet 16. So that would mean Bob has Georgetown in the Elite Eight, which I just can't get. This is why I hate conference tournaments. Because you get jabroni teams like Georgetown and Oregon State in it because they get hot at the right time, and you get a team like
for the game. Maybe they get to the Elite Eight.
I thought St. Louis got robbed. That's really the only team I can look at and say should be in this tournament, and aren't, probably because Oregon State has to get a bid and Georgetown has to get a bid. I hate conference tournaments. I would rather add a week to the 2 weeks to the non-conference schedule, so teams can really schedule and either warm up for their conference or schedule up and try and get some resume wins than have a silly conference tournament. I hate conference tournaments.
Yeah, well, for that reason, it keeps good teams that really deserve to be in. It keeps them out, which is unfortunate.
John Burke, one haircut in your team should be out. Yeah, no haircuts in the bubble. Don't be like Joe and Ben getting all cutted up for the All-Star game and getting COVID and ruining it. Because if COVID does ruin March Madness for the second year in a row, I think I might die inside a little more than I already am dead. It'd be terrible.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to be okay.
It's not. It's going to be okay. Blue Empire Sports checking in with some breaking news. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed Jenkins from the Chargers for a 4-year deal. Also, Kenny Galladay is having a meeting with the New York Giants.
Yeah, well,
Monday morning.
That one.
Monday morning quarterback. They were talking about this Jenkins guy from Chargers at the end of their broadcast. Monday morning quarterback's on every 5 here, at 5 every Monday, right before the Sports Hounds. I don't know one thing about Jenkins, so giving him a 4-year deal kind of raises my eyebrows a little bit.
To the Jaguars.
Well, maybe Blue Empire Sports is fake news.
Well, Kenny Galladay meeting with the Giants is not fake news because the Giants have been targeting him all year. I mean, I read a lot of the Giant reports, and they have absolutely been on him the whole year. They're saying they liked him more than they like JoJo Smith-Schuster. My only problem with Kenny Galladay is that he gets hurt a lot, but he's a nice player. If they can get him and he stays healthy, that'll definitely give Daniel Jones a solid receiver to throw the ball to besides your Slayton.
Bert, the year UConn won, they got seeded higher and won because of the tourney. Yeah, I'm assuming you mean when they had Kemba Walker and they won the Big East tournament, but they were all going to be in anyway. even if they didn't win that tournament. But they win that tournament, they grab a 3 seed, and Cardiac Kemba.
Oh, they were great that year.
yeah.
What are you kidding? Come on. Doesn't matter that they won the tournament. They were definitely going to be in then.
But Oregon State is not an NCAA tournament team.
No, they're
right, Chase? Right? Oregon State, they stink, right? So does Georgetown. Like
Georgetown didn't stink this weekend, though.
But, I mean, they're forced. The NCAA is fortunate this year that the bubble was really weak. And you can't really stand on a hill for any team that didn't get in. I mean, Xavier, like, thanks for trying. But, I mean, you lose to Butler, who stinks this year.
Yeah.
In the first round of the Big East. Like, you're not in.
Yeah, you can't do a tournament like that.
Like Colorado State, Boise State, like I'm supposed to be upset that they're not in the NCAA tournament. Chase, is there any teams that you think should have gotten in that didn't get in, or you think that the committee got it right?
I think like Georgetown and Oregon State should not have been in. Georgetown just beat Villanova because they didn't have Colin Gillespie. Oregon State doesn't play in a good conference, and Oregon already lost, so they didn't have to play them. Or no, I think they did. But I think Colorado State should have made it in. And I think just Colorado State was the only.
Just Colorado State. I mean, I like St. Louis because I think you're right about Colorado State. They probably shouldn't have been in, probably would have been in, but Oregon State and Georgetown stole the bids of St. Louis and Colorado State, which kind of stinks, but I mean, am I supposed to be up in arms?
Yeah, but these tournaments make a lot of money for the NCAA, so they've got to keep doing the tournaments, Rob.
Yeah, I understand.
They're big money makers. They're not going to cancel the tournaments.
I know.
You know, and a lot of times these teams that win the tournaments and get hot, a lot of times they do get a decent run in the NCAA tournament, and you know, they end up getting a lot of people interested. You know, their fans get very interested. So, I mean,
I hear you.
Georgetown used to be a very, very popular team. You know, especially in our area back in the day when they had consistently great teams. I mean, they had Mutombo and they had Alonzo
Ewing.
I mean, they were loaded. They were absolutely loaded, that team. You know, and they had some great players on that team. Sleepy Floyd, if you remember him. I mean, that team was a who's who of great players for a long time. And then after Thompson finally retired, that team's been on some hard times. So I think it's kind of good to see them back in the tournament again. And then I see Patrick Ewing on the sideline. I mean, it kind of gives you a warm feeling inside. Like, there you go, they're back. It's good to see them back. I mean, as much as I hated them when they had all those players because they used to kill St. John's all the time, but you know, it was good to see. It was really good to see them back in the tournament again because it's been a long time.
We got 9 watching on YouTube. We got 6. Close the chat up, folks. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Get that like button. Let's go through the bracket. Let's get everyone's picks on each and every first round game and figure out who's in our Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, Final Fours, and who our champions are, even though some of it's kind of, you know, leaked out throughout our great conversation here. So let's start in the East. Let's start with Gonzaga's West. Let's start with the West. Oh, we don't really need to talk. Like, Gonzaga's going on. Missouri and Oklahoma. We get quick picks on that game. Chase, you want to lead it off there?
I have Missouri in that game because Oklahoma hasn't been playing good since they were like 15-5 or something, like 13-5, and now they're 15-10 and not even in the top 25. So I picked Missouri here because isn't playing good.
I have Oklahoma. I don't know. Oklahoma's a grind it out, slow it down team like your Mount St. Mary's are. Missouri likes to run up and down and score the basketball, so I like picking grind it out teams when they play these high pace teams. I have Oklahoma there. Frank?
Yeah, this one's a bit of a coin flip for me. I'm going to go with Oklahoma on this one.
Brad?
I'm going to take Missouri. I'm with you, Chase. I like hot teams. I like teams that are playing good this time of year. I don't think you can turn it on and turn it off in college basketball. If you're not at the top of your game, these tournaments will kill you.
I like Lon Kruger, too. I think Oklahoma's the better coach team. We go to the 12-5 matchup. Chase, the 12-5 is a traditional upset spot, but I don't have it here. I have Creighton over UC Santa Barbara, University of California, Santa Barbara. Anyone else want to jump in on that game? I like Creighton.
I got Creighton over the Gauchos.
Don't like the way Creighton played in that Big East tournament. They laid down. They laid down and quit like pigs in that game against Georgetown. So I'm going to go against them.
Chase.
I have Creighton winning.
All right, and we got John Burke, Hibbert, and Green. We're good with them. Yeah, back in Georgetown. It's probably the last time Georgetown was in the tournament, maybe even with Hibbert when they went. I think they went to the Final Four 2 straight years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That crew. Joseph Orowski, thanks for checking in. He hasn't watched any college basketball, but he hates West Virginia and Gonzaga in the final. All right, moving through this West region here. Where'd my thing go? Okay. Ohio, Virginia. I have Virginia just based on pedigree, experience, coaching, defense. I don't think Ohio can hang here.
Me either. I got the Who's winning.
Brad, Chase.
You got to go with Virginia. I mean, they've got the pedigree to win this game.
Chase.
Virginia.
Wichita State, Drake. That's a play-in game. I think either of them beat USC, to be honest with you. I'm not impressed with USC at all.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't get it with Evan Mobley. I don't get what everyone sees in him as a potential number 1 draft pick. So are we all?
I kind of agree with the 11-6 upset right here. Although I have Drake winning, I mean, there's a good chance that the Shockers can win as well.
Yeah, I got to go with Wichita
Line
State.
is on that game. Drake and Wichita State. Wichita State's a 2-point favorite.
Yeah, I like Wichita State.
I like Drake. They've been pretty solid all year. They're just not as good as Loyola Chicago. So they didn't win their conference tournament. But, I mean, I like Drake to beat Wichita State, and I like Drake to beat USC. Chase?
I have Drake winning and then them beating USC.
So everyone's down on USC, as we should be. VCU and Oregon. Oregon's one of my sleeper teams in this whole bracket. I have them in my Elite 8, losing to Gonzaga, so I certainly have them beating VCU.
They should win that game.
And this is not the VCU team of the past. Shaka Smart, now in Texas. This is a far cry from that Final Four team several years ago. Quack, quack. Give me the Ducks.
And Chase, do you have Oregon, or are you going with the VCU upset?
I think VCU is pretty good, but I went with Oregon.
Okay, and then Iowa's going to beat Grand Canyon, even though I think Iowa is susceptible to an upset.
I've never even heard of Grand Canyon. I mean, I heard of the Grand Canyon. I didn't realize there was a school named Grand Canyon.
Yeah, they got the commercials everywhere.
They make it in sometimes.
Yeah.
Who's your guys' regional final in the West here?
My regional final in the West, I got Gonzaga versus Kansas in that Elite 8.
Okay.
And I got the Zags going to the Final Four.
Okay, I have Gonzaga over Oregon. Oregon's one of my Cinderellas, if you will. Love Dana Altman. Love their athleticism. I think they match up really good with all the teams they could potentially play at the bottom of that West region. So I really like Oregon here. I think Gonzaga takes out Oregon in the regional final there in the West.
Rob, you convinced me. I'll take Oregon too with Gonzaga.
And then Gonzaga winning. Does anyone not have Gonzaga in their Final Four? The whole panel. We have consensus Gonzaga winning the West region.
Yeah, they're gonna win.
Mhm.
Chase, you obviously have them winning. Frank, you have Gonzaga in your Final Four. Brad has Gonzaga in his Final Four. Let's move on to. We'll go down. Let's go down. We'll just go down the road. This is Michigan's region. This is the East region. Chase, do you think Mount St. Mary is going to beat Texas Southern?
I think they will, but then I don't think they stand a chance versus Michigan.
Yeah, that's a tough draw.
Yeah.
We'll just move on. Michigan's going to. That's a pretty safe bet. Then two of the most intriguing games in the entire tournament are in the East region, at least in my opinion. We have the 8-9 matchup of St. Bonaventure's and LSU. I really like LSU here, but St. Bonaventure's is scrappy A-10 team. But I think LSU showed me a lot yesterday in that championship game, even though they lost.
I can't see
Devontae David, Cameron Smith, they're long, they're athletic. Defense can be a little suspect at times, but I think the ability is there. And I think they're just going to out-athlete St. Bonaventure. I have LSU marching on.
I'm going to go with the Bonnies with this one. I think I'm going to have the Bonnies upset LSU.
Kevin Dixon, what's up, fellas? Thanks for checking in our bracketology special. Chase, do you have a selection on the St. Bonaventure LSU game? Should be a really entertaining game.
I like St. Bonaventure winning in overtime.
Winning in overtime.
Ooh.
Okay.
That means it's probably going to go over the posted total for getting some free basketball. Got to see when that game is. That's at 1:45 on Saturday. So the afternoon special. LSU's a 1.5 point favorite. Over unders 144.5. I guess we're pounding that over, huh, Chase? If we're getting some free basketball, you got to think that's going over.
Yeah.
Joseph Orosky, he likes Zaga, Michigan, Purdue, West Virginia. I don't like Purdue at all, but to each their own. Anything can happen in March.
Yep.
And then another intriguing first-round game, another 12-5er, Georgetown taking on Colorado out of the Pac-12. I really like Colorado here. I think the clock has struck midnight on Georgetown, and they're going home.
I kind of said it earlier in the show. That was one of the double-digit seeds that I have kind of making a run. I think they still got that lightning in the bottle. I got Georgetown upsetting Colorado.
I would agree.
Colorado's just so deep, though. I love their depth. And, Colorado, I mean, they've been on my bracketology radar since last year because I think they would have made a run last year, and they have all the same guys back. So, how can I not like them this year, right? So that's where I'm at.
You got team syndrome, though.
What's that?
You got the hot team syndrome, though.
Mm-hmm.
Georgetown, I mean, they're on fire right now.
Yeah, but also it's a little bit of a strategy thing too, because I think a lot of people are. I think that's going to be an in vogue, upset pick. So I'll fade the public. I'll fade the people like Frank who are picking Georgetown and you, Brad, who are picking Georgetown because they're the hot team. But are they the better team? I don't think so. I think Colorado's better than Georgetown. I think Colorado wins the basketball game. Chase, what do you think?
I disagree, but
I have Colorado winning.
Chase agrees with me.
yes, he does.
Georgetown's going to carry on with. I think the only good win was against Creighton. I don't think the Villanova win was that good without them having Colin Gillespie.
The only thing that Georgetown can do is shoot. They can make some threes, but I just don't think they're as good as good as Colorado. Then this East region, I think it's going to be really fun. I think this is my favorite region in the whole tournament because next up, we got UNC Greensboro and Florida State. And fellas, I like this North Carolina Greensboro team. They're long, they're athletic, they can run. I think Florida State missed a golden opportunity because of COVID last year to potentially make a Final Four. And I love Leonard Hamilton, and I love what he's built there at Florida State. But I got the 13 seed pulling the upset here. I got UNC Greensboro.
I'm going to give this one to Florida State.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, UNC Greensboro, I mean, they're in the tournament. I mean, they're in the tournament a lot. They have guards. They can score. Chase, what do you think? Am I crazy for picking UNC Greensboro over Florida State?
I think a little bit. I have Florida State winning. I just don't think UNC Greensboro is that good.
Okay. I'll stand on my hill with UNC Greensboro. 11-point favorites Florida State is. I like UNC Greensboro. Plus the 11, obviously. I like them to win the basketball game outright. Where are we going now? We're going with BYU. Another intriguing playing game. Michigan State and UCLA.
That's going to be a good game.
It seems like Michigan State should run away with this thing. Like, this game shouldn't even be close. Michigan State is way more talent than UCLA, don't they, Chase?
Yeah. I've watched them play a little bit. And I think Maryland beat them both times by over 10 points. But I think Michigan State's really good. It's only like Maryland, Mount St. Mary's, and Michigan State that I know that all their starting players. So that means they're good. So I have them winning and then ending up beating BYU.
Yeah, I don't think BYU is that good at all. I think they're prime for an upset there. It's like, what do they do good? What does BYU do good?
Having funny names on their roster.
Yeah, they're good at that.
That's pretty good this year.
We had 7 likes on YouTube. We got 7 watching. Hit that like, subscribe, get alerts, notifications. We got 1 million shows. A lot going on here at A2D Radio. Joseph Ferrasi, I think my Gators are going to lose to Virginia Tech, but I can't pick against them in the round of 64. But no way they beat Ohio State in round 2. I disagree with you, Joe. I have Florida taking out Virginia Tech. I don't think Virginia Tech. They don't impress me at all. I thought they were good.
I'm not high on them.
I thought they might be good in like February, but then they losing to teams like Pitt and just teams they shouldn't be losing to, and I don't like them. I like Florida. But getting back to the East region here, Texas and Abilene Christian, I think that's a consensus Texas advances selection.
Yep.
Correct. Everyone's got Texas. I think everyone's got Connecticut.
I got Connecticut.
Except Brad. I think, Brad, you like Maryland, don't you?
Yes.
And then Bama over Iona, the 15 seed. So how do we see this East region? What do you guys have as the regional final in the East?
I think for the regional final in the East, I got Michigan, Alabama, and Alabama wins that region.
You have Bama, and it wouldn't surprise. Man, they really impressed me. I don't think Bama can beat Texas. That's my only thing with Bama. I think Texas is better than Alabama. I have Texas over LSU in this region. I mean, I reserve the right to change my mind on this region because if Isaiah Livers, if it comes out tomorrow or during this broadcast that Isaiah Livers is good to go and he's 100% or damn near close to 100%, I think Michigan walks to the Final Four. And then I'll have to tinker my bracket a little bit, which I hate doing, but I can't have 4 1 seeds in the Final Four, I'll feel like a crumb. But, I mean, right now with the Livers injury, I have Texas going to the Final Four, and I have them defeating LSU. Like LSU. SEC showed well yesterday afternoon. It was a great basketball game. And both those teams really, really impressed me, LSU and Alabama. Chase, I know you like Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You have them in your Final Four, right, buddy?
Yeah, I have them losing to Gonzaga. I have them beating Michigan in the Sweet 16.
You have Texas over Michigan.
Yeah, and then Gonzaga beating them, and then them winning the championship.
Right. All right, let's go to the South. Baylor's going to beat Hartford. We're not even going to talk about that. Yeah. Wisconsin, North Carolina. North Carolina playing better of late, but I have Wisconsin here.
Yeah, Wisconsin's just too big and physical for them.
Yeah, I also got Wisconsin.
Chase, you like UNC? Or you making a clean sweep for the Badgers?
Carolina.
You have North Carolina?
Yeah.
Because they're playing better, or do you just not like Wisconsin?
I just think Wisconsin hasn't been playing good past couple games. Like, it's how you they're top 5, but starting good doesn't mean you're gonna be really, really good. So
I'm changing it right now. I'm picking North Carolina. Chase convinced me. I'm in. Winthrop, Villanova. I think this is the 12 that goes to the Sweet 16. I think Winthrop goes to the Sweet 16. I think they beat Villanova because Nova's injured and not very good. There's your Rangers, Brad, tying it up in the blink of an eye.
Of course.
I guess Panarin being, I think that was that Panarin again?
Yeah.
Is he number 10?
No, Panarin.
Nope.
No, I'm sorry. 43 scored that one. Panarin scored the first one, though.
Okay. What was that, Blackwell?
Yeah.
I can't see the game, Frank, because it's
Blackwell.
Yeah, they got a 2-on-1. They got a 2-on-1. Panarin fed.
Your defense is pathetic this year, by the way. I got to tell you, you giving up goals in the Rangers for crying out. I mean, I know you're scoring more goals than the Rangers. That's the Rangers' defense is lacking, and their goaltending is awful. How are you giving up more goals than the Rangers?
The Flyers have been swarming though. They've been playing with a sense of urgency in this game. They went up 2-0, then they just gave it right back in the middle of the second period here. But yeah, the Flyers they need to put their strap on their big boy boots and figure this out, because I don't think they're going to make wholesale roster changes. I think they like what they have on the farm, and they're just going to develop guys. But they're a defenseman short, and I don't understand how these young guys that are here that we were so excited about, none of them are really stepping up, which is
they missed.
Unfortunate.
They're the veteran defenseman they had last year, whose name now escapes me, Frank.
Niskanen. They missed Niskanen.
They missed Niskanen really, especially Provorov, who could use some help. You know, he's a brilliant offensive player, and he's pretty good defensively. But if they really had a reliable defenseman to play with him, imagine how good he'd be offensively. He could take a lot more chances.
It's disappointing. And then everyone wants to point at the goalies, Frank. And I can't even if a guy skates in on a 2-on-1, unmarked, what's the goalie supposed to do?
Exactly.
He's just hung out to dry.
If the pass gets through, and it's a slam dunk, there's nothing the goalie's going to be able to do about it. I mean,
that was the last one, Brad. I'm sure you'll watch the highlights.
Yeah, I mean,
later.
I'm watching the Brooklyn Nets and the Knicks, and the Knicks had a 7-point lead, which evaporated in 30 seconds. I mean, God, that net team can score quick. Oh my God! And what's sick about it is that it's not always Harden, although it usually is, but it's not always Harden. It seems like when Harden passes the ball, these guys are always wide open and getting easy shots. I mean, when Harden gets the ball, he attracts such a crowd, and he's really been good as a point guard. I don't think anybody expected that to happen. With that,
I just didn't see this coming from the Flyers. I didn't think they would be a bad team. And I've been making excuse after excuse for them all season because the division's tough. It's a little weird this year. But, I mean, at some point, you got to call a spade a spade. Ryan Brodo, this Flyers team stinks. He's officially upset. I'm upset too. I just didn't see this team not being in the top four.
This was supposed to be your year to really come back and be a big time team. I mean, as a Ranger fan, I wasn't expecting much being in this division because this division is just too tough for that. When you consider that the Flyers are the 5th team in this division, I mean, okay, the Rangers better beat out Buffalo and New Jersey. I mean, you can't finish behind them, but it's going to be tough for them. But I'm just looking at it that I hope that Taco and Lafreniere develop and become good players this year, and hopefully they can be competitive this year.
Sorry, Brad, but there they go again. The Rangers just marching right into the zone and getting a quality chance. They're going to convert this time, but I mean, my God. Now the Flyers are back on the attack. It's been a very entertaining hockey game on in the background. A lot of offense.
They always are, these two teams. It's just that they don't have a lot of fighters anymore because Elaine Vigneault disdains that part of the game, and the Rangers, they have Lemieux. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he may be benched against a team like the Flyers. If they went to play Blackwell instead, then I would assume Lemieux may not be playing.
Joseph Orosky, we got a lot of stock in Phil Myers, and he just had it this year. Yeah, I was really high on Phil Myers. He just hasn't done it. Ryan Brodo, who was more of a disappointment, the 2020 Eagles or the 2021 Flyers? It's definitely the 2020 Eagles. When you only win 4, and there they go again. They're just walking into the zone, and no one's playing any defense. Now the Flyers, just like that, they're down 3-2. Extremely frustrating.
Who scored this time?
Wasn't looking. There's 25. I'm watching the replay right now. But yeah, Brodo, to answer your question, the 2020 Eagles were an embarrassment. Looks like number 22, number 12. Number 12.
12. DiGiuseppe?
Yeah.
Phil DiGiuseppe for the goal?
Yeah, he skated through everyone and did a little deke and backhanded in. Chase, do you got a favorite hockey team, or is that not your thing?
I mean, I don't really watch hockey too much, but I'm a Penguins fan.
Ooh. Yeah, Chase is a Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, Gauthier scored. Wow, he hasn't played in forever. Gauthier.
So Chase, you're big Steelers. You're big Steelers, Maryland Penguins fan, right? That's your MO. But yeah, Brodo, to answer your question, when you win 4 freaking games in the worst division in the history of the NFL, it doesn't get more disappointing than that. The Eagles were a putrid, pathetic excuse for a football team last year. So that's my answer to that.
And you can't be real excited about them going after Jacoby Brissett as your backup quarterback. I mean,
I like it for what it is.
Yeah, but if he has to play, do you have any confidence in him?
No, I don't even have confidence in Jalen Hurts, Brad.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Jalen Hurts is gonna. I'm not a big supporter of him at all. I'm still
saying, I don't believe in Jalen Hurts, and I think Jalen Hurts is better than Jacoby Brissett. So what's that tell you about what I think about Jacoby Brissett?
I think you're right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the bracket. Winthrop is my 12 seed, making a run to the Sweet 16. Beat Nova, beat Purdue. Purdue, they play in that rough and tough Big Ten, but I don't really believe in them. I have them beating North Texas, but losing to Winthrop.
I got Purdue going to the Sweet 16. I think Nova wins by the skin of their teeth against Winthrop, but they fall to Purdue in not so nice fashion. Not a blowout, but it's how they're going to lose. It's not going to be pretty.
Didn't Nova beat Purdue by 50 points in the one tournament too, a couple of years ago?
Oh boy.
or vice versa.
I think so at one point. I don't remember.
I remember they played one year, and one of the teams got beat by they just got pasted.
Yeah.
Chase, I know you mentioned you like Winthrop earlier. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How far do you have Winthrop going? And what do you think about North Texas and Purdue?
I have Winthrop in the I was about to say Final Four. I have them in the Sweet 16 and losing to Baylor.
Okay, so I like that. I agree with that. Utah State and Texas Tech. This is a game that I've gone back and forth on
That's going to be
multiple times.
That's going to be an interesting game.
This is going to be another boring game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm gonna open it up. Someone's got to convince me one way or the other on who to pick. Frank, who do you have?
See, this one I had a hard time with because, Texas Tech a couple years ago, they were in the Final Four. The year after, they made to the national championship game. And this is a different team. I know it's been several years since, we saw those teams, but I don't really know much about Utah State. I haven't been really watching Mountain West basketball after dark. But I did see some couple flashes of Texas Tech. I'm going to go with the Red Raiders.
Texas Tech has won a couple of big games this year. I mean,
they did.
They beat Oklahoma. They beat Texas twice. I mean,
that's right, they did.
I mean, that's a team that can really give somebody trouble if they're on their best day. I don't think they're consistent enough to really make a big play, but I think they can get out of the first round. That I think they can do.
I look at Texas Tech, though. They struggle to score. They play great defense. They're very well coached. But I look at, they played in a tough conference, but I'd like to see them a little better than 9-8. 17-10, that's an okay record. 3-8 versus the top 25 is what concerns me with Texas Tech. Chase, what do you think about this game?
I have Utah State on an upset. I just don't think Texas Tech's that good. They don't really have anybody too really good. And Utah State's a really, really good team. They beat San Diego State twice. And I think they'll win.
Plus, my bracket pool gives out upset points. So, if I pick Utah State and Utah State wins, I get 5 extra bonus points, which could loom large, which leads me to select Utah State. Because I agree with Chase. I'm not so sure about Texas Tech. I don't know about them. And we have Colgate and Arkansas. Colgate seems to be a little bit of a trendy 14 seed over a 3 seed. I'm not buying it.
Me too. I'm not buying it either.
Colgate is going to get their teeth brushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chase, you have Arkansas here. I know you told me earlier, we were working out the details for you to come on tonight, that you liked Arkansas a lot.
Yeah, I used to think they were Final Four, but they didn't win the SEC championship. So I have them beating Ohio State, I think, in the Sweet 16. And then I have them losing to, I think it's Gonzaga or Baylor.
Baylor's their 1 seed.
Baylor's the 1 seed in that conference.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I just think Arkansas. Then we go to the bottom of the bracket. I already said I liked Florida. I'm not impressed with Virginia Tech at all. And obviously, I like Ohio State over Oral Roberts.
Yeah.
Anyone disagree with that?
I have Florida and Ohio State.
Chase, Florida, Ohio State.
I have Ohio State.
Right, but you have Florida over Virginia Tech?
I think so.
Okay. And then, we get to that regional 5. I think that region comes down to Baylor and Arkansas. I think Arkansas is going to be a problem for Ohio State. I really do. I think that Arkansas is going to be able to score points in Ohio State. think they're going to be able to fill it up, and I think it's a really good matchup. So I have Baylor over Arkansas in the South.
I'm going to go Baylor over Ohio State in the South.
One and two.
Ohio State over Baylor.
Brad likes Ohio State. Brad's on the Big Ten. Brad likes the Big Ten.
Yeah, I like big nasty teams. They are a big bad team. I'll tell you, as I said, they almost beat Illinois. I mean, that was pretty impressive. And Illinois might just be the number one team this year. They might be able to. Who knows? They could knock Gonzaga. I don't think
Chase, who you got in the South?
I think it's Baylor, Arkansas, and then I have Baylor winning.
Okay, so that's the same as me. All right, last region. The Midwest, representing the City Six. Drexel beats Elon in the Colonial Final to get themselves a bid.
Congratulations, Drexel, by the way.
Drexel is not good, though. They're going to get smoked by Illinois. Yeah. Georgia Tech, another team, bid stealing. Georgia Tech wasn't a very good team in the regular season. They get hot at the right time. They take on a team I really like, Chase.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
And Loyola Chicago. Remember Loyola Chicago made a great run to the Final Four in that crazy year. But Chase, I know you like it, Loyola Chicago over Georgia Tech, correct?
Yes, but I think Georgia Tech's a really good team. And if they had any other 8 seed in the world, they'd win. But against Loyola Chicago, they're not an 8 seed, they're a 2 seed. And Loyola Chicago is going to win.
So you're big on – so can you tell us, like, what kind of team do they have, Loyola Chicago? Because you're really high on them and you're really smart. So that's making me kind of doubt my Illinois pick here.
I just think they're really, really good. They lost to Drake and beat Drake, and Drake's pretty good. And I think they're just a really good team. And there's always this one team that, like, I've never heard of since before, like, 2017. I've never heard of Loyola Chicago. They just won in the Final Four. And that's what I have here, except that I have them losing the Sweet 16.
Yeah, we're getting the Final Four picks in just a few minutes here. Fam out there, drop your Final Four picks in the comments. We'll read them off. We'll talk about them. There are no wrong answers, so post them in. Hit that like button on YouTube to close out that chat. Hit that like button. Follow us, subscribe to us, download us. All forms, wherever you get your podcasts, live shows, every day of the week. Keep it locked in here, A2D Radio. Hold on, where we at here? Hold on.
Georgia Tech and Loyola.
Georgia Tech and Loyola. I like Loyola Chicago. I think they're pretty good. I think they're misseeded. I think they're better than an 8 seed.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Especially when Loyola achieved the highest ever KenPom ranking at 9, and probably one of the top defenses in the country. Yeah, this team should have been higher, but I guess the pollsters and the bracket makers thought otherwise. And they are in an extremely tough bracket if they want to recapture the Sister Jean run.
Oregon State, Tennessee. Oregon State doesn't belong here. I know you went on a cute run and you won your conference tourney, and I'm no Rick Barnes apologist either. So I have Tennessee winning.
I got Tennessee as well.
Chase, Tennessee. You like Oregon State? You like Tennessee?
I have Oregon State with an upset. I just don't think Tennessee is that good. No, none of the teams are really good, so I don't think it's going to be like a good game to watch. I just think Tennessee's the worst team. I think they might have got swept by like Kentucky or something. Who's been awful. So I just think Oregon State will win and get blown out in the second round.
And Rick Barnes, I mean, that's kind of his MO to like choke in these big spots. And we got to fight. We got to fight here, Brad.
Who's going?
Kreider's in the mix. Voracek's been a maniac this year. He's been trying to fight everybody, and that's not really his MO. Who's he locked up there with? Number 42 he's locked up with. Smith?
That's Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith's pretty tough.
It wasn't really a fight. I mean, they just kind of bear hugged and went into the boards.
They broke it up. Any good shots connect?
No. Nothing like no. It won't be on hockeyfightsandbrawls.com or whatever that site is that you watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, they show some pretty weak fights, so you never know.
Yeah, Smith, 93 Zibanejad. So it was like a tag team bear hug match.
Wait, did Zibanejad throw a punch at anybody?
No. Smith dropped the gloves, came off. So Smith was trying to pick on Nolan Patrick.
Okay, and
then Voracek came in and was having none of it, and then Zibanejad came in. So it was like a tag team bear hug match between Zibanejad and Smith versus Voracek and Nolan Patrick.
Oh gosh!
And I think they're handing out some penalties here.
Yeah, I would think Zibanejad shouldn't be fighting because he's concussion prone. I'm surprised.
Well, Nolan Patrick shouldn't be fighting either.
Yeah. Well,
then you get to the bottom of this bracket. Oklahoma State's going to beat Liberty. I think that's a consensus.
Sorry, Greg.
Yeah, Liberty. I don't have. Just Cade Cunningham's just too good. He's special. Yeah. You haven't watched Cade Cunningham play? The Flyers did tie it. I guess I missed that, Frank.
Yeah, I too missed that as well.
Okay, so it is 3-3. Probably heading 16 seconds left in the second period. So, Chase, we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun when the New York teams play the Philadelphia teams because Brad's a big New York guy. He's a New York fan, and we're Philly fans, and you're a Pittsburgh fan. So we got a good dynamic tonight.
I always like Baltimore, Pittsburgh. That's only in football. And then my friends, we always like. I have one friend who's like a Ravens fan, and we always before I go.
Oh yeah, those two teams
come over and watch all the games.
Is that what you do with your buddies? Do your buddies, do they know as much about sports as you?
One of my friends does. He knows like a lot about football. He's a Virginia fan, and then one of the ones pretty into football doesn't know like as much as me and him do, but he knows some players too.
It's nice that the sports talk farm system is alive and well down there in Maryland. Rounding out the story, you get the bottom of this bracket. Syracuse, San Diego State. I really like Hughes. Buddy Boeheim's playing great right now. Syracuse, they're a hot team. These 11 seeds are dangerous over the last couple of years, and I think that Syracuse has the goods to win a couple games here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rob.
You know what? I'm going to flip my pick. I originally had San Diego State, but I'm going to go with Q's on this one.
And our Brian Wilson, I'm sure he's all Q'd up. He had his sweatshirt on during Monday morning quarterback. I'm sure he has him winning a couple games as well. Chase, but you like San Diego State, don't you?
Yeah, I have him winning.
Okay. What can you tell me about? Can you tell me anything about San Diego State?
Again, I don't really watch San Diego State. I was just watching a little bit of their conference championship game, and they ended up being pretty good. And I don't think Syracuse is that good with the ACC being bad, so I have San Diego State winning by a lot.
By a lot. Uh-oh, Chase.
Wow.
Chase. Uh-oh. Your boy, Bud Dupree, signed in with the Titans.
Oh, boy.
What do you think about that?
The Titans had to address that defense, that's for sure.
Any chance Rutgers wins their first game? That's from Evan Taylor on YouTube. Yeah, I do have.
Yeah.
I have Rutgers winning the first round game. I think that's the next game we're about to talk about. So we're just in time.
Yeah.
I'm not. By the way.
What's that?
I like Syracuse, by the way. I think I mentioned that earlier in the program.
You did. And then West Virginia is over Morehead State.
Yeah.
Is that a consensus?
Yep.
So we just move on. I like Rutgers over Clemson.
And
I think Clemson's
also
that great.
and I also pick Rutgers over Clemson.
Rutgers is scrappy. They're starting to get guys. They landed some transfers. They have experience. I like them.
They were really good last year. I mean, last year could have been their year. They were really good, but it's good to see that they were able to hang in there and get the spot this year. It was a very
and then Houston's going to beat Cleveland State.
Yep.
And then I have Syracuse.
If I may just say, Cleveland State, back in the 80s, I remember they had a major upset. They knocked off Indiana in the first round. I remember that because I actually bet on that game. Because I think Cleveland State was an 18-point underdog, and I bet that game, and Cleveland State actually won the game outright. I believe this was 1986 or 1987, something like that.
So to answer your question, Evan Taylor, yes, I think Rutgers has a very good chance. I think that's probably one of the 7, 10, 8, 9 games that I'm most confident in.
Yeah.
Because like LSU, Bonaventure, that can go either way. I think Loyola is going to beat Georgia Tech, but like Chase said, Georgia Tech, they're playing well right now. Florida, Virginia Tech, both those teams kind of stink. So, like, I'm pretty confident that Rutgers is going to win. So, Evan, to answer, I'm sure he's a Rutgers fan. Different Evan. Evan R. Sorry, buddy. I'm not even going to try your last name. But thank you for listening. Thank
Evan
you.
Routson, I believe.
Routson?
Routson.
So he's got Virginia in his Final Four. I don't think Virginia is on that level this year.
They're not winning.
All right. So, Chase, Midwest, I have Illinois over Houston in the Elite Eight. I know you have Oklahoma State pulling off the upset over. Well, you don't even have it. Wait, so you have you're hot on Loyola. You think they're going to beat Illinois?
Yeah, they beat Illinois, then Oklahoma State wins in that game, and then wins the Midwest.
Who do you have Oklahoma State to beat and to get to the Final Four?
Baylor. They beat them once this year, so I think they can beat them again.
No. That's who they play in the Final Four. Who do you have them playing in the Elite Eight? So Oklahoma State versus who to get to the Final Four?
I have Oklahoma State, San Diego State to get in the Final Four.
All right, so you got that. You got the Midwest. You got the Midwest off the rails there. I love it. I just think Illinois is so, like, I wish Loyola was playing, like, in Michigan's region. So I could just be like, Loyola, Chicago, Michigan, see ya, and be like Chase and go for it. But I'm totally sold. I'm in love with Illinois. And I can't go against them. Frank, how do you see that region?
That region, I'm going to go Houston over Illinois.
Okay, that's my Elite Eight. Brad?
Illinois over Houston.
Okay, so you're like me. All right, let's recap. Chase, give us your Final Four and your national champion. Your Final Four, your national championship game, and your champion.
I have Gonzaga over Texas, and then Oklahoma State over Baylor, and then Gonzaga beating Oklahoma State 92-84.
92-84. Gonzaga over Oklahoma State. So you think Cade Cunningham's going to really do well in the tournament?
Yeah, I think like Oklahoma State's gonna play like their hardest, and they're gonna try to score a lot of points because Gonzaga doesn't have the best defense ever, but Gonzaga just beats team by how many points they put up. So I have Gonzaga winning the tournament.
Gonzaga being an undefeated champion.
Yep.
It'll be an unbelievable feat. And their first, Mark Few definitely deserves to win a national championship the way he's built up that Gonzaga program. Brad, who's your Final Four? Who's your national championship game? Who's your champ?
It's going to be Illinois and Gonzaga in the finals. Illinois loses by a basket to Gonzaga. And the other two are going to be Ohio State and who's the other? Alabama. And I like Alabama to beat Ohio State.
Frank?
I've got Gonzaga over. Who did I have? Gonzaga over Kansas.
Wait, you're backwards here, Brad. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I screwed that up.
Uh-oh.
No,
those are my final four teams.
Right. So you have Illinois over Ohio State.
Illinois over Ohio State in the Final Four, and Gonzaga over Alabama, and then Gonzaga beats Illinois. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, you're good. So Bama. You're like Arnone. You like Bama. It's not football. It's not football, right?
No, I realize that. But, I think Ohio State gets even this time.
Evans checking in.
Never mind.
Does Murphy there? Does he have a Final Four? Does he have a bracket?
This is Winnie. Thankfully, the puppy isn't here. Otherwise, there's chaos here.
What'd you name the pup?
Gracie.
Gracie?
Yeah, she's 3 months old now, and I swear to God, she's almost as tall as me.
You didn't get the mini one like my sister has.
No, we got the standard golden doodle.
Gotcha.
And she's white, and boy, oh boy, she's a good dog, but yikes.
Yeah, they can be. Well, she has the mini one, Buttons. He was over yesterday. And, I had to take a little nap from my antics in the afternoon. I had to sleep it off a little bit. And Buttons, he would not let me take a nap at all. He just wanted to, because I'll wrestle with him. Like I'll push him around, and he gets all excited. And so that's all he wants to see me. When he sees Uncle Robbie, all he wants to do is have playtime.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And Uncle Robbie needed a nap. Chase, you'll find out about sleeping it off Sunday afternoon after you're 21, buddy. Right? Anyway, getting back on the rails here.
All right,
Frank.
So for my Final Four, at least getting into the Final Four, I have Gonzaga over Kansas, Alabama over Michigan, Baylor over Ohio State, and Houston over Illinois. Going into the national championship game, I got Gonzaga versus Houston. And give me the Cougs with the upset 74-71 over Gonzaga.
I like the pick. They got a lot of pieces there. They got a lot of pieces down there in Houston.
Yeah.
So your four is Alabama.
Yep.
Gonzaga.
Baylor and Houston.
And Houston.
So the South is well represented in the Final Four.
And then I have Gonzaga beating Oregon in the West Region Final. I have Texas beating LSU in the East. Illinois over Houston and Baylor over Arkansas. Then I have Illinois over Baylor, Gonzaga over Texas, and I have Illinois. I got Illinois 75-72 over Gonzaga because I will never, ever pick the number one overall seed to win the national championship. Rarely happens. It's hard to do. One bad game and you're out. And the undefeated factor only makes me want to pick Gonzaga less. But Gonzaga is a really good team, so they might win, and that's why I have them in my national championship game. That's the A2D bracketology. That's our full tournament preview. You got any more questions in our last 15 minutes? We're jumping off at 9:15. Check out Flight Zone after us. Let's talk some NFL free agency because a lot of moving and shaking today. The Patriots are on a spending spree. The Chiefs address their offensive line. Tampa Bay is retaining everyone. Looks like the Giants are about to make a move. Chase, unfortunately, your Ravens, they make – unfortunately for the Steelers, the Ravens, they make a move. They bring back Yannick. And Chase, your Steelers, they lost Bud Dupree. Are you concerned about that?
I mean, we didn't have him for the end of the year, so I'm not too concerned about it.
not too concerned about losing Bud Dupree. Brad, your Giants are laying in the weeds.
Well, they don't have a ton of cap space, but they did renegotiate Nate Solder's contract so that they could get some more cap space. So, well, I'll tell you what, I would love to see them make the move on the receiver. That would be great. Galladay, I think, would fit in their system real well. I would love to see him and Darius Slayton lining up on the same offense. I think that would really help the team. That way they wouldn't have. That way they're only because right now really their top weapon is Mr. Hands Stone, their tight end, who annoys every living being of me, Evan Ingram. So I think if Evan Ingram is the second or third option, I think we'd be a much more resilient and a much more difficult offense to face. I don't like the fact that they lost Zettler, but I guess they had to do what they had to do to get themselves into the salary cap. So, that's kind of it. Hey, would you get out of here, you? Sorry, see, this is the problem when you do these things at home, guys. When they're in the studio, we don't have dogs barking, but I have 3 of them, so there's always liable to be one of them. Hey, Lisa, get your dog out of here.
Frank, was that true that the Eagles signed this guy Jenkins from the Chargers?
It is not true. Apparently, the Jaguars acquired him with Rayshon Jenkins.
I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. I don't expect much from the Eagles next season.
Yeah, same here. I don't expect a bunch of movement for the Eagles this free agency. I mean, we're not going to see any like earth-shattering signings. I just don't see it happening. I think they're just going to spend just to bolster the bench. I mean, maybe somebody to back up.
You got to draft the Eagles. They have to draft good.
Exactly. I think they're just going to draft and then just sign bench pieces. I know people are trying to find a backup for Jalen Hurts going into the season. I know Jacoby Brissett's probably the name tied most to us as of right now.
Just makes sense because
it makes sense. It's probably
Sirianni
the move there.
It's a move you can say like you're bolstering the room. It's a competition, but it's not really a competition kind of a thing. And then just to piggyback on what Tommy, Brodo, and Wilson were saying on Monday Morning Quarterback, I have no problem drafting a receiver at 6. I have no problem taking a tackle, Penei Sewell at 6. Like, I don't care that Jalen. I know it admits that you missed on Dillard and Rager, but I think you did miss on Dillard and Rager, Frank. I think those guys stink. And I think they're going to pick a receiver at 6 because of Jeffrey Lurie, his infatuation with these splash plays and not wanting to run the ball. Mm-hmm. Why not trade Miles Sanders, Frank?
Yeah.
Jeffrey Lurie hates running it, and apparently he dictates game plans along with everything else with this organization. But, are you going to pay Miles Sanders to be a top 7 to 10 back when your owner doesn't even want you to run the ball?
Right. I don't think.
Chase, do you think Miles Sanders is good from Penn State?
Decent. He was good at the beginning of the year, then started having injury problems. So if he's healthy, he'll be good. But if not, then I just get rid of him.
And he fumbles too, which I hate. I hate when the players fumble my football, Chase. And Carson.
That is an unforgivable offense as far as.
And then I want a running back. I want a running back that pounds it up in that hole. Miles Sanders is a ballerina dancer. He wants to dance around like it's Xbox, and instead of hitting the hole, when he hits the hole, he gets a big gain. To help with costs associated with the fire that devastated the Ocean City Boardwalk this morning, our friends and at All Campus, which is located between 10th and 11th Streets on the boardwalk, is one of the businesses affected by this fire. We do not know the extent of the devastation. Prayers and or donations are greatly appreciated. There's the GoFundMe link. So find it in your heart. Help us out. Help out the Ocean City Boardwalk, because the Boardwalk's coming back strong this year post-COVID. And Johnny Coyle and all campus and all those businesses down there, they need our help.
Yep.
We talked about Dr. Paul Vidal and mental health therapy at the Sunrise Detox Center. The number's right there in the comments if you need everything. But getting back to Miles Sanders, I don't know. I'm not sold on Miles Sanders, and I am sold on some of these running backs in the draft, like Travis Etienne out of Clemson, Javonte Williams, who's probably my favorite non-first-round prospect in the whole draft. And, Etienne, Harris out of Bama, and Williams. I think those guys have all the tools to be just as good as Miles Sanders. So, I'm not handing Miles Sanders a fat check of any means. And I know people like him around this area because he's the Penn State guy, and people overvalue Penn State guys way too much. Part of the reason why I don't want Parsons at 6 is I think that this fan base is just overvaluing the Penn State factor, which they usually do. But I don't know. I don't expect much out of the Eagles. I mean, unfortunately, they don't have any money. I know. So they can't make the free agent splash. Let me look at their cap.
Yeah, I know that a lot of cap moves have been made this year.
But I mean,
I
Frank,
still think we're under, if I recall correctly.
But Frank, he's just kicking the can down the road. He's doing the
Pretty
same
much.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you really circumvent the cap is by giving a guy an outrageous signing bonus. That's really the only way you can circumvent the cap and get guys in here. I mean, that's tough to do. Coming off a COVID year where you didn't have any fans in the stadium.
I don't know if this includes the Brandon Graham restructuring, but no, it probably does because there's still $8 million over the cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get anybody until they straighten that out. They're going to have to cut somebody. But they'll sign somebody and then they'll cut somebody. They already know who they're going to cut. Yeah, they may not have told us, but they already know. Same thing with the Giants. If they get Galladay, somebody's going to go. It's just a question of who.
Who are they going to cut, Frank? Because they restructured Kelsey. I thought that was the main. I thought he was going to be the casualty.
And I think
they restructured Brandon Graham. They restructured Slay.
They're going to cut Ertz?
I guess it's Ertz. But does that save you that much? Because he's still on a rookie deal, right?
Ertz is he's not a rookie. He's way out of a rookie deal.
I guess he's been 16.
If you cut Zach Ertz without trading him, it'll save you about $4 million.
See, I want to keep Zach Ertz though.
Yeah.
What's the point? There's no point. It's like trading Carson. Why would you trade an asset at its lowest point? Let him compete. Keep him. Let him compete in camp, and then trade him next year if you really like Ertz that much. Same with Ertz. Plus, the team that Ertz is, no one's ever going to trade for Ertz because he acted like a punk bitch when he didn't get paid last year. Pardon my French there, Chase, but Zach Ertz is not someone that I'm excited to have on this football team from an attitude standpoint, because he felt disrespected by Howie because Howie didn't roll out the red carpet and give him Travis Kelce and George Kittle money with 2 years left on his deal. And he was so unfocused on football and so butthurt over not getting paid that he wasn't focused on playing in the actual games and got himself hurt. So now his value is at an all-time low, and no one's going to trade for him because you got to pay Zach Ertz, or else he's going to be a big baby about it. And then the alligator tears in his outgoing press conference about how, I don't want to leave Philly. I want to stay forever. Such BS alligator tears. Like, shut up, dude. Like, Zach Ertz couldn't be further in my doghouse right now. Crying at a press conference, grown-ass man crying at a press conference. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? You want to act like a big baby the whole offseason and then be surprised that the team there's rumors about the team moving on from you? You good, Zach? You okay? I don't think he is.
Hey, by the way,
he'll be on the team next year.
just a little update. Brooklyn is ahead of the Knicks 65-49 with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And Philly sports passion, he would trade Standard, and he would rather have Najee Harris in a heartbeat. Chase, Najee Harris from Alabama, he looked good in a Steelers uniform, huh?
Yeah, I think we try to get a running back, either Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, I think would be good for us.
Steelers couldn't run because James Conner, he's not that good, is he?
He was good last year, but hasn't been good since.
Do you think it's an offensive line problem with the Steelers not running the ball, or is it a running back problem?
I mean, David DeCastro has been hurt a little bit, but I think it's both.
He was hurt a lot last year. You're right. That was a major loss for them. So I'm thinking that they really could use a little help on the offensive line, because that's what kind of kept Ben from throwing the ball down the field. I mean, they were really limited offensively to picking, to nickel and diming the passes, 2 and 3 yard passes down the field, because they didn't have enough time to throw the ball. So you got to wonder, it might be the offensive line that could be the problem too.
And then you guys had a lot of injuries on defense last year, Chase.
Yeah, we had
The season.
a lot of injuries.
Flyers 3-3. Oh, sorry, 4-3. That's a live goal, right, Frank?
I think
double check.
Theory.
I looked away. Yeah, it looks like. Yep, it's a live.
Yeah,
goal.
it's a live goal. 4-3 Rangers. Looked like number 17 there, Brad. I know I'm throwing numbers at you. I've got to keep you on your toes.
Wow, I can't.
Like they're just walking in. It's one pass. He's standing right there in the slot. I mean,
Exactly.
I think it's Harden net tonight. What's he supposed to do? It's tough to watch. The Flyers are tough to watch from a defensive standpoint tonight. Little dude is on tonight. Chase, congratulations on completing your radio debut. You did a fantastic job.
Nice job.
A true natural. We'll text you. We'll email you. We'll call you. Maybe we'll do some college football stuff together in the fall, because I know you know just as much about college football as you do college basketball. That'd be a good preview show with Chase. Check out the Flight Zone. It's coming up in about 15 minutes here on A2D Radio.
Yeah.
One of our newer shows. They really know what they're talking about.
They do, yeah. They've been doing great so far. They're only a month in. They're the growth that they've been doing, and this is a compliment from me to them. Like they've been doing such a great job. They got
Trying to figure out.
They went through the growing pains real well. And
you know who
it's great to see
17
them.
is? 17 is Rooney. I mean, it's two of their fourth line play. The Flyers' fourth line, or rather, the Flyers have given up 2 goals to the Rangers' fourth line now.
Yeah, welcome to being a Flyers fan, Brad. It's been brutal. It's been brutal, man. I'm telling you.
Blackwell's now with Strom and Nairn. So, but Rooney is the fourth line center. He plays with Lemieux and Gauthier, who aren't exactly. Gauthier scored a goal too. That's right. Holy crap! Their fourth line with 2 goals tonight.
I can't even get on here and scream and yell about it, because it's not even like I'm mad. I'm disappointed. Not mad. I'm disappointed, and that's worse.
Our defense stinks too. So don't be surprised if the game's over. Speaking
Don
of
19. Don 19. He's repping his Wolverines up there in Detroit. I see you, Don. Thanks for checking in. That's all right. You download it later.
Yeah.
Listen later. It doesn't go away. Listen to it before Thursday. Listen to it before Friday. We get Chase's picks, get my picks, get Brad's picks, get Frank's picks. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Thank you to our sponsors, Dr. Paul Vidal, Sunrise Detox, Philly Drinkers. Check out that GoFundMe for the Boardwalk Fire. Thank you to everyone who liked, commented, subscribed, shared to the show. Frank pulling double duty, being on air and producing tonight. Great job. And thank you, Chase.
Frank.
Thank you to Chase for checking it in.
Thanks for coming on, Chase. Good job.
Flight Zone coming up next. Until next Monday. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.